I'm Cher, the Shadow Walker, and I'm taking a look at cryptid sightings over the last 48 hours in Canada and in the United States. And I'm starting with Newfoundland, and there was a vocalization of a Bigfoot at 11:22, sorry, on the 4th of April in the Avalon Peninsula on the shore. Two people witnessed it or heard it. High-pitched metallic vocalization, and the local wildlife and birds and domestic animals like dogs went completely silent, and they reported it to the digital scanners. And a Bigfoot sighting at 3:45 a.m. on April 5th in Gander near Highway 330. One person crossing the Trans-Canada Highway moved with extreme speed and fluid motion into thick bush, and they reported it at the private crypto log. And a dogman sighting at 2:30 a.m. on April 5th in the Humber Valley near Cornerbrook. One person witnessed it, a large-headed canine figure seen standing upright on a rocky outcrop. Amber eyes were shining. And it was reported to the Independent Digital Registry. And a hellhound at 1:15 a.m. on April 4th in the Caboneer area, residential outskirts, one person standing at the edge of a property, a coal black dog-like creature with glowing eyes, vanished when the lights hit it, and they reported it to the paranormal group. And a spider humanoid at 4:10 on April the 4th in the Bonavista Peninsula, one person saw a skittering multi-limbed silhouette seen moving across the storage shed roof, jerky mechanical movement, and it's on the community forum. And a Mothman at 10:10 p.m. on April 3rd in the St. John's area, Signal Hill, Dead Man's Pond area. Three people, a large winged shadow with red shine eyes circling the cliffs, caused a brief white noise burst on phones, and they reported it to the amateur radio file. And in Prince Edward Island, over the last 48 hours, a Bigfoot was sighted at 1:10 a.m. on April the 5th in the North Wiltshire shore in the wooded perimeter. Two people witnessed heavy bipedal movement and branches snapping near a private residence. One witness reported deep vibrating growl, and they reported it to the Atlantic Cryptid database. And a dog man at 11:55 p.m. on April 4th in Brackley Beach near the cemetery. One person witnessed a large canine-headed figure seen standing upright at the edge of the dunes. Eyes reflected dull amber, and it was reported to the Independent Digital Scanner. And a hellhound at 12:20 a.m. on April 4th in the Brookfield Cemetery area. One person, a silent coal-black dog seen pacing the stone wall. Witness reported a visceral dread before it vanished into the mist, and they reported it to the National Hellhound File. And a Mothman at 10:45 p.m. on April 3rd in Charlottetown in the Historic District. Three people, a large winged silhouette with distinct red shining eyes, circles, and it circled the rooftops, causing a brief local power flicker, and they reported it to the Atlantic Digital Scanners. And a spider humanoid at 3:15 a.m. on April 4th in Surrey near the harbor. I love it there. One person, a skitter entity with elongated multi-jointed limbs seen moving under a pillar with unnatural speed, and they reported it to the PEI Shapeshifters file. And if you're ever down in that area of Surrey in the summertime and that, around 1:30, and the jellyfish are all on the shore, something to see. In New Brunswick in the last 48 hours, a Bigfoot was sighted at 11:40 p.m. on April 4th in the Elgin Caledonia mountain area. Two people witnessed a massive bipedal shadow seen moving through a clear-cut area Witnesses reported deep vibrating growls that felt like it hit their chest, and they reported it to the Atlantic database. And a dog man at 1:15 a.m. on April 5th in the Kingston Peninsula, one person witnessed a large pointed-eared silhouette seen crouching on a rock crop. It leapt into the bush with unnatural speed when spotted, and they reported it to the New Brunswick 2026 sighting file. And the hellhound at 12:50 a.m. on April 4th in the Miramichi or Miramichi, whichever way you want to say it, River Valley area, one person, a silent, oversized black canine with glowing eyes seen pacing the riverbank near the Dundroven Trail. And that was they reported it to the Hellhound file. And a Mothman was spotted at 9:20 p.m. on April 4th in the Moncton area near Irishtown Park. 3 people witnessed a large winged figure with red eyes gliding low over the tree lines caused a sudden static interference on local handheld radios, and they reported it to the Atlantic digital scanners. And a spider humanoid at 3:40 a.m. on April 4th in the St. John Industrial Port area, one person seen a multi-limbed spider-like entity seen skittering vertically across a storage container. It moved with a jerky mechanical cadence, and they reported it to the Independent Digital Log. And in Nova Scotia, over the last 48 hours, Bigfoot at 2:15 a.m. in Kejimkujik on Highway 8 in the entrance area, 2 witnesses, heavy movement, whoop calls, and a strong musk odor, and they reported it to the Nova Scotia file. And a dog man at 11:50 p.m. in Caledonia Highway 8. So that's the same area because Caledonia is right near Kejimkujik. It's all in the same area. One person witnessed a bipedal canine crouching in the ditch watching traffic, and they reported it to the digital registry. And a hellhound at 12:05 a.m. in the Halifax area in the Citadel Hills area, one person, a silent black shadow moving faster than a natural dog, and they reported it to the PPRI Halifax. And a spider humanoid at 3:40 a.m. in Truro near the Salmon River, one person, a multi-lib silhouette skittering across a metal roof, and it was on the local community forum. And a Mothman at 9:40 p.m. in Meat Cove, the Cape Breton Highlands area, 4 people witnessed a large entity gliding over the cliffs that caused battery train, and they reported it to the Zero file. And if you'll note that the Mothman seems to have come from the Nova Scotia area, I believe, and moved across over to the Prince Edward Island area and then back over to the New Brunswick area. I'm trying to follow them around as they go. And in Maine, over the last 48 hours, at 3:10 a.m. on April 5th, a Bigfoot north of Baxter State Park, 2 campers, heavy bipedal footsteps circling the campsite, rhythmic wood knocks heard for 20 minutes, and they reported it to the BFRO file. And a dog man at 12:45 a.m. on April 5th in Aroostook County, near Mars Hill, a border patrol person, a large canine-headed figure seen standing upright near the clearing, eyes reflected yellow amber, and they reported it to the individual digital scanner registry. And a hellhound at 1:20 a.m. on April 4th in the Fairmount Wooded Corridor area near I-95, one driver, a shadow-like oversized dog seen crossing the road, no sound or impact of movement. It vanished into the tree line, and they reported to the paranormal/hellhound file. And a spider humanoid at 4:15 a.m. on April 4th in the Bangor area in the industrial region. We've had them there before. A night security guard, a multi-limbed spider-like silhouette skittering, along the top of a chain link fence, moving with jerky mechanical movement, and they reported it to the local community forum. And a Mothman at 11:30 on April 3rd in the Bar Harbor area near Cadillac Mountain. A group of 4 people witnessed a large winged silhouette, distinct red eyes gliding towards the coast, caused a brief white noise burst on cell phones, and they reported it to the Atlantic Digital Scanners file. And that is it for Maine. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.